Welcome, everyone. Let me turn off all of this other stuff here. Hang on just a second. One. There we go. All right. And then we always have to remember this. Okay, so welcome, everyone. This is our last live of the year. It has been an amazing year. I'm going to do a little bit of a year in review for me, which has been some breakthroughs that many of you have shared right along with me that have been pretty amazing. And we're looking forward to another year, but some of you are not quite feeling the happy new year vibe. Like probably many of you experience some depression or maybe wanting to isolate. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And we were also going to talk about a few other things. I was going to share a new project that I'm working on how to increase our colostrum, not our colostrum, our collagen. That's what it was. Hang on. And that's something not all of you are interested in, but it's something that I'm always thinking about. So, welcome. We have a great crowd here from all over. And what have we got? We've got Virginia, welcome, and Pennsylvania, and we have Florida, California, of course, Colorado, Pennsylvania again, Fort Lauderdale, LA. Excellent. And we do have Instagram on tonight, but I don't know. Yeah, no, they're not able to comment so much there. But if you guys ever want to come over to YouTube, and then you can actually post some comments and questions that we could share. And colostrum is fascinating. So yes, as we talk about this year in review and the few things that were pretty amazing for myself, and some of you experienced some of these breakthroughs right along with me. One was early in the year when we went to Bali. That was the first time I'd done a retreat since since January of 2018. So it'd been quite a while since I had done a live retreat, and it really felt great, felt really good. It was really definitely my wheelhouse and what I really felt so comfortable at doing, leading those of you through these processes that just build and go deeper and deeper every day. And it's quite phenomenal. As a matter of fact, we're scheduling, or we've already scheduled it. We are planning our next retreat for next year, April 23 through 29, if you want to mark your calendars. It's not for everybody. And as this will be in Sedona. And so we'll be explaining more about that in the months to come, weeks to come, and as we get also the website up. Another breakthrough that happened earlier this year was breaking through to this new threshold of 450 millivolts of light in our cells. And so the more light that we're able to hold, the more information our cells can hold, which means our cells have more information. More light equals more information. And so then that more information we have, the more we're able to uh, interact with our bodies in a way that they know how to function. As a matter of fact, I just got my blood work back. And because I was curious, and I'm always about the numbers, and this was a great way to find out what's actually going on. How am I actually doing? And the numbers were actually very good. Most everything is right up to speed. There's only one thing, or maybe a couple things, but it's all around the same thing that I'll be working on, and that is cholesterol. So it would be very easy to say, oh, well, that, my mom and all of that. But, epigenetics lets us know that it's really more about our environment. So I'm going to be making a few changes. And now I have a blood baseline and numbers that I can go back and check again and see how I do there. And then also found out that my biological age is 57. So that was quite exciting. And my next goal is 54. And so, speaking of age, one of the things that was another milestone this year for me was celebrating my 70th birthday in Africa with my mentor and a group of people. And that was really all about new levels of abundance, rewiring those poverty programs and those programs around not taking up any space. And so it was quite profound. It was quite a profound experience and truly memorable. Africa is much different than I had expected, pleasantly surprised. Another thing that we made a breakthrough this past year about had to do with our claustrum, however you say it, that little part of our brain that doesn't emit some sacred fluid, as many people seem to think, but it really emits a frequency. It emits a frequency in that part of our brain that is just a bundle of nerves. It's not a gland. And so it emits a frequency that travels down our spine, informing our spinal fluid with this light frequencies that then informs our fascia. which is like a living web of light that also distributes more information. So that was quite a profound new information that was given that we can now expand into and how to really help our bodies function in the best way possible. One thing that I don't talk about much, but it has been had a profound effect on me this past year was early in the year. I got a young horse, which has been teaching me a lot about stepping into more levels of courage and bravery and breaking through fear and really honoring a really powerful presence. That's really what horses are about. They teach you how to be present and very grounded in a very powerful way. And there's much to learn as this little guy needs to be taught. I won't be able to ride him for still another year or two. So he's in training. But that's also been an exciting thing for me. But the one message that I would say is quite evident from this past year is that we don't evolve through pressure and force. It's all about coherence. This is how we evolve. We align to these higher frequencies. And the more our body can hold this light and love and truth, this is really how we evolve. And so that would be the biggest message that I would say was transferred or had informed at least me. Maybe you guys have felt it too about how we really do evolve. You can't push this stuff. You really have to align, and so that's what all of the work that we do together is all about. It's about letting go of these lower frequencies so that we can step into the higher ones. That's where all the magic lives. And there's a couple things that I've noticed, especially over this past week. Maybe you guys have been feeling it too. And that is how the dark influences on the planet have really stepped up their interference. And so when I talk a lot about AI, I'm not talking about artificial intelligence. I'm talking about ancient interference. And this has really amplified in the way that they are interacting with us. And so many of you don't even know like how or why this happens. And if you realize the fact that our energy field is we are wireless technology. And so this is how we intercept all of their messages and their frequencies that they're always inputting out there is through our bioelectrical energy field, AKA aura. And the more metals, which is why they are spraying the air so much, and then a lot of people, of course, participated in the jab that had a lot of metals in it. And so that interacts with our electrical energy field, these frequencies that they're putting out there. And then we intercept that. And then this is how they're easily able to control humanity. There's also some more specific things that they use, like energy cords. In this past year, we've found a great increase of those. Before it would just be a few, maybe 5 was a lot. And now, 20 or 50 is not uncommon where they'll put those cords into our root chakra. And then that creates instability. You can't get grounded. And so that's really been happening a lot. As well as these black boxes that they use, which is an etheric control mechanism. And they're very powerful in all the ways that they use this to control us, making us afraid, making us feel sort of defeated. What's the point? And, I get it. When you look around on the planet and you see how much injustice there is, and definitely people are fed up supporting our government. A lot of people are opting out of claiming exemption status for tax statuses now because they don't want to support what they see going on. This whole Somali with the daycare centers. But, that's just one state. Minnesota is just one state. You think it's only happening there? This is what's going to be happening in this next year. We're going to see a lot more transparency, a lot more exposure of what's going on. So you multiply that by all 50 states, that and it's not just Somalis, it's lots of people that are here illegally. And, they've gotten the message, hey, US is a great place to take advantage of. They got a lot of free handouts, and um, the taxpayers are done funding this stuff. And so you're going to see a lot more people that are just saying, not interested in supporting that anymore. So we're going to see a lot of differences. Hey, glad to see you. We're going to be seeing a lot more in this next year of exposure, and yeah, it's going to be pretty fascinating. One other thing I wanted to talk about, because so many people have become depressed about what they see going on. In fact, when before I got on the call earlier in the day, I was thinking, wow, the joy is only like down at 3% and like zero amusement. And then as I got closer to the call, the numbers started going up and up and up. And as I check now, um, wow, okay. When I first got on the call, it was at 50%. Well, now it's at 90%. So maybe our frequencies amplified together are helping to raise each other up. That's one of the things I plan on doing more of this year. And I think you're going to be seeing more of it as well. People meeting together in person in small groups. Um, we've become so isolated and so disconnected. A lot of you are still feeling the effects of the COVID 19. And, a lot of people are just so overwhelmed by what they are feeling. Many of you, even in spite of kind of leaving your bodies and only occupying it a very small percent, even so, it's become overwhelming, the levels of infiltration that's going on. And so people are isolating. People are isolating and just trying to reconnect with themselves and what they know to be true, and just to like stop all the static that's been going on, getting out in nature, which is a great way to get back in present time. So that's one thing I plan on doing, is meeting small groups. I live in Southern California. So those of you who live in the Southern California area, North San Diego County, that would be awesome to know, so that we can meet together. I'll let you know when and how. So if you're connected to my newsletter, you'll know. And if you're not, of course, I'll announce it here. I'm here every week, every Wednesday evening at 6 p.m., rain or shine, holiday or not. Many of you might be going out to celebrate. I know I'm not. I prefer quiet. And so I think there's enough chaos and stimulation going on out there for me. And of course, there's been a lot of scares about, terrorists, etc. So, as far as like how can you tell if you're wanting to isolate? Well, you just might know. You might know that you're wanting to isolate just because of everything that's going on. But sometimes there's isolation, depression, kind of can go together. Uh, but for those of you who have been doing the work, those of you who have been, running your energy, getting in those higher frequencies, isolation becomes like your sacred space, so that you're protecting your peace, and you're not letting people infiltrate and destroy your peace. And so that's actually, in my opinion, a great reason to isolate. And sometimes we really just need to decompress and just go inward, and find that peaceful place again. So this next year, as a matter of fact, we are starting tomorrow. Every first Thursday of the month, which just happens to be tomorrow. And I didn't plan some of this to land the way it did, but this happens a lot. I plan things because spirit calls me. We have been doing the monthly luminary activation for, I don't know, a couple years now. Um, but this year, it just happens to land on January 1st, and we always do it at 11. So the ones are all about how our thoughts create our reality. You know, when you see that 11:11 on the clock, it's like a snapshot of you, to give you an opportunity to think about, like, what am I thinking about right now? Is this bringing me closer to what I really desire or further away? And so in that moment, you have a chance to change your thoughts, change your thinking so that it's more aligned. And so as we are going through this next luminary activation, this next one is all about activating heart coherence. You know, many of us have, because of being so disconnected, not only from source, but from each other in that isolation, that we maybe are starving for love. If we're still looking for that outside source to fill us up and make us feel loved, then a lot of you might be feeling pretty empty. And so, this next month, or actually tomorrow, in this activation, we're going to be activating that place in us that self generates love, and then being able to amplify that throughout our whole energy field. Because it's this heart energy that is the foundation for our relationship with ourselves. And that is the beginning point for all relationships. If we don't have a good relationship here, all of our other relationships are going to suffer. So that is going to be the beginning of our 12-day program. So we always start, we sort of kick off the 12-day program with one of the luminary activations. And so the 12-day program is going to start this following Monday, and it's all about coherent. Is that, hang on, I forgot the title. It's about relationships. I, I have, I wrote that down, the title back there, but I don't have it right in front of me. It's about relationships and how we can have aligned relationships. And of course, it always starts with this first one here with ourselves. So for 12 days, you know, because there's so many layers to having a healthy relationship, there can be there's just so many things to clear. So I thought, well, let's do this over 12 days because there's our relationship with ourselves. Maybe some of you are currently in a relationship, but it's a little crunchy and you don't know how to overcome those things that are making it difficult. Maybe you cord to each other. Maybe you have unresolved past lives. So we're going to be diving deep into a lot of those layers with existing relationships. There's also those of you who are or who have ended a relationship, but it still feels kind of like it's still kind of stuck to you, that person still like seems like they're still kind of plaguing you. Well, how do you get that out of your energy field so that you can move on? So that's a whole nother layer. Then many of you are wanting to call in a partnership. So how do you prepare for that? How do you clear those places in you so that you don't keep attracting that same repeat person, you know? And so there's a lot of layers to that, really clearing a lot of the heart energy, the wounding, that mother wound, the father wound. There's just all these different layers that we're going to be covering over these 12 days. So it's going to really be going deep. And I'm quite excited about that. So if you want to join us, you can go to my website, which is there on the YouTube screen, KimberlySherry.com, and just scroll down. And if you want to join us for the 12 days, then you can do that. It's scroll down on the right-hand side. It includes the luminary activation. But if you just want to join us just for, you just want some, maybe a boost for yourself, join us just for the luminary activation. We go through the whole process of getting grounded. So many of you, when you ask questions, you're asking, am I grounded? Give me a scan. And we find out you have no grounding cord and you're barely in your body. you are a great candidate to join us so that you can get grounded. You can start the new year off not with racing off the starting line with the resolutions in your hand, but this is the time to work with the energies of winter, going deeply inward. And so that's what we're going to be doing starting tomorrow with all of this love energy. We need this. And I think you're going to be seeing more and more people connecting because like we're starving for human connection that we've spent too much time scrolling and there's we need to connect with people. And so I'm going to be contributing to that in my own way in my community, and I encourage you to do the same, and connect with more people. All right, let's see what kind of questions we have going on with all of you, so we can see what kind of things you guys need help with. Carmen was disgruntled yesterday, to say the least. Yes, I was disgruntled today. Earlier today. It took me a while to get geared up for this. Yes, even I have things. Sandy said Bali was soul opening, and I'm so glad I went. Yes, it was amazing. Yeah, very, very excited you were there, Sandy. Another retreat coming up. Yes, coming up. Sedona, yes. 54, yeah. That's my next goal. And good cholesterol is 100 to 180 if you ask a holistic doctor versus allopathic. Okay. I don't know the exact numbers offhand, but I just know they were saying that it was a little bit on the high side. So I've amped up my fish oils and D3, and then I'll be checking it in another, few months. And then I'll see where I am. I was excited to be with the group. This is Charlene. Okay. It has been rough, yet I have faith in where we are going. Yeah, Charlene was with us in South Africa. That was powerful trip, right? Yes. Yeah, great. I've been, here's Carmen. I've been feeling empty even though I appreciate my life. Yeah, there's a lot of integration going on. I anticipate that over the next 3 years is still going to be pretty tumultuous. And last week I was talking about how, what's his name? I want to say Dimitri, but that's not it. DiStefano. Maybe you could put his name in the comments. But anyway, he is going to be helping us over the next 3 years prepare for 2 very powerful events. And so it kind of feels like, I've had this feeling of something big that's going to happen, not sure what it is. And so when I heard about him talking about the solar eclipse in 27, it's going to be the longest and biggest solar eclipse of the century. And so, we can work with these energies of the eclipses, of, the new moons, the full moons. As a matter of fact, I didn't plan this either, but the full moon is on January 3rd. So here we are doing the luminary activation on the 1st. We've got a couple of days to integrate that while being in this energy of the full moon. So then that is going to help feed into the first day, which is on January 5th of our 12-day program. So that's another cool thing. So when we work with these energies, it really helps to amplify our growth and accelerate things. So he is going to Mateus DiStefano. That's what it is. Okay, Mateus. He is going to be helping people get ready for that event, as well as the asteroid Apophos, I think it is. There's an asteroid that's coming in 29 that could be cataclysmic. Some scientists are saying that. However, a lot of these things happen as a result of the consciousness on the planet. So he is intending to, and I plan on working along with these energies as well, to prevent a cataclysmic event, that our consciousness will not create that. So clearing the chaos and disruptions that are going to be happening over the next few years as our government continues to crumble. People are just going to stop supporting it because it's not serving, it's not serving us anymore. It's doing quite the opposite. So all these things need to crumble. But if you're paying attention, you'll also notice that there are groups of people, and people are finding ways that are supporting a new way of being, a new way of living, this new earth consciousness. And so it's kind of happening simultaneously, almost like in slow motion, as the governments are crumble, as religion is crumbling, as the way the old family structures have been built, that's crumbling. And we're finding new ways to relate to each other. And it's actually quite exciting, but it can be a little scary because we're moving into uncharted territory where we've never been before. Well, not in this lifetime, right? But many of us have been here before. We have been through previous cataclysms, and that's what kind of is triggering a lot of you, because you've felt this energy before, only the other time it didn't end so well. And so that is getting stirred up in your body. And so these are the kinds of energies that we're going to be clearing out over these next few years, so that we can avoid another cataclysm. And we're going to be moving simultaneously into these higher frequencies where we are all doing our part to build this so-called new earth. So that's kind of how I see things. Let's see. Aligned relationships. Yes, that's what it is. My relationship is with a little dog. She is suffering with stomach disorder for 2 months since we moved into a new apartment. I haven't been able to calm her stomach or de-stress her. Well, if you want, we can take a little peek at your dog. So first of all, little dog does not have a grounding cord, but neither do you. And so oftentimes our pets are reflecting what's going on with us. And so you've probably also been having a hard time feeling maybe in your power. That's what the stomach is all about, feeling like in our power. Yeah, so without a grounding cord, you're only in your body about 3%, so not quite aware of the energies that are kicking you out. It's a lot of fear, and as opposed to anger. Oftentimes anger is very big and that will kick people out, but in your case it's more fear. And so that fear looks like you might also have some stomach issues. So this is your dog is kind of like a mirror for you, and is showing you what's going on with yourself that maybe it hasn't quite shown up yet, but it's brewing. So ground your dog. You can ground both the front and back legs. And also when you pet your dog, and this goes for all animals, cats or dogs, is that when you pet them, a lot of people just stop right at the tail. Make sure you bring that energy all the way out the tail, so that you're not bringing that energy and then it just collects right there at the tail. Bring it all the way out the tail, and that will help them release some of this energy that collects right there. That's where a lot of fear collects. And so that would be really, really helpful for your doggy. Hopefully they feel better. Sandy wants to know if she still has unresolved past lives with ex-boyfriend Charlie. No. And whether Charlie has any with you. He still has 3 with you. So maybe you only cleared yours, not thinking that he might have some with you. So he has 3 with you, and it's mostly related to the root chakra. So I would check that out. Matthias, yes, thank you for that. I did remember finally. um, Oh, this is a big question that I would have to say no. Have I gotten rid of all remnants of old self? That is like almost like a lifelong project, getting rid of the old self. Let me measure a percentage for you. Well, that's kind of a vague question, but I'll give you a vague answer. What percent of the remnants of your old self have you released? 15%. Yeah, so you still have some stuff to go, mostly in the root chakra, a lot of fear. So, yeah, a grounding cord would really help with that. It's hard to release anything without a grounding cord. So, um, definitely need that. Okay, Shelley, do I have any interference or past lives with my friend Ashley? You have 0. Ashley has 0. So that would be a no. Nancy, when I remove the cords and curses from my shoulder, how long does it normally take to see the pain cease? It all depends. Sometimes it's right away. And yeah, so, I think as I recall, Nancy, you have a lot of tension in your body, and some really good body work, I think, would be helpful, and not just relying on energy work. So I think the two really go hand in hand. All right, Jetta, I've been feeling more grief than expected with the breakup, and it's been bringing up thoughts and beliefs with loneliness. Yeah, I'm curious how much loneliness is in your field. Only 5%. 5%, yeah. And sadness, 50%, grieved, 50%. And so, I think it's pretty normal to feel that, and certainly not blame yourself or beat yourself up or feel like you're doing something wrong if you feel sad that you've broken up from a relationship. So, yeah, those are the kinds of energies we're going to be clearing over those 12 days is any residual energy in your field from old relationships is definitely going to be worked on. Spumanti. I had a very strange dream last night. My late boss, he looked somewhat different, but I knew it was him, offered me a corporate job where I could work on a gig basis in India. What was that about? I have no idea. Maybe you're looking at new opportunities. It's kind of like a little bit about, going outside of boundaries and expanding your boundaries. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Let's see. Sounds one. There's really nothing in your aura that's getting lit up around that, so I'm at a question mark about that. Sorry. What do I need to do to keep a grounding cord? Well, you have to do the practice, and in your case, as is very common, you've got those 20 AI cords right at your root chakra. So those need to be eliminated, never cut, because that leaves residual energy. You want to pull those out, and then that will allow you to get grounded. And check it throughout the day. They sometimes they'll put a reinstalling loop on those so that you take it out, and then I don't know, hour later it's back. So well, I'll check for you, see if you have a reinstalling loop on these 20 cords. Yes, the answer is yes. Usually at your 6th chakra. Yours is, yes, at the 6th chakra, 2nd layer. It's a fear loop. So that needs to be cleared out of your 6th chakra. Would the blue lotus help you? Let's see. If you're talking about the retreat, there's some work that needs to be done before that. So everyone will receive some preparatory, but first an evaluation if they're even aligned with the elixir that we will be using. Um, let's see. So when you say would the Blue Lotus help you in general, I think it's a very powerful medicine. And let's see. Yes, it has a high frequency for you, Nancy. It's vibes at infinity. So that would be a yes. Hey, Jody, welcome from Texas. Um, okay, got it. I got to eat this. Yes. How do we clear loops? You use your free imagination and imagine that you dissolve, transmute it, if you know where it is. So in this case, it was in the sixth chakra. So you just use your imagination to dissolve it. Tara wants to know if there's a specific parasite removal that I should use. Don't know. That's a really broad stroke. There's so many parasite cleanses out there. The one that I used recently, Luna was the one that I used recently, but it's like an annual subscription. I subscribed for like 3 months and then I thought, yeah, I think I did. I'm good. So, yeah, I didn't really notice much difference. So I don't think I really had much of a problem. Natita, you look and feel amazing. Why, thank you. One mirror to another. Yes. Well, we anticipate this will be a happy new year. But as we started out tonight, we realized that many people are not feeling so much in that happy new year energy. So I'm glad you guys are all here so we can all support and encourage each other. Do you need one? As in need one, a parasite cleanse? Well, let's see what percentage your parasites are. Yes, you do. Is that 100%? And so there's, all different kinds of parasites. So I know people don't like talking about this stuff, but pinworms, liver flukes is another one. Yeah, so that would both be helpful in that case. Let's see if Instagram has anything they want to know. I see a lot of people over here. Thank you for saying hello, Lady Karen. Any other comments? None. Okay, well, that's that. What other questions do you guys have? Yeah, another interesting thing about this new moon is that it's going to be in Cancer. Now, I'm not big on astrology, but I kind of am interested in it to a certain degree. It has some helpful information sometimes, and but at the same time, on this last plant medicine ceremony I was on, it helped me release the whole program around astrology because it's kind of a limited. It's keeping you in a limited fixed identity, and we are really so much more than our astrology charts. However, some of it is fascinating. So this next full moon is going to be in Cancer, which is a lot about feeling emotions. It's a lot about connections, family connections, relationships, and so forth. So we really have a lot of support for exactly what we're going to be working on over these next 12 days, starting off with this full moon energy. So maybe some of you are feeling it. Some of you are feeling the emotions. Allow yourself to feel it and let it flow. All right, what else we got? Any other questions? Yeah, I've been noticing, I get on social media, every now and then just to get a feel for what's going on with people, and, right now, people are really, really fed up with, the government and how they are, um, misusing their authority and um, their privilege of serving humanity, because they're totally not doing that. And so people are just fed up. They're I think you're going to see a lot more people this year just refusing to one vote, refusing to support with paying their taxes and claiming exempt status. Um, it is going to be interesting. All right, Cindy, today is my anniversary. We have been together 50 years off and on, wondering about past lives. You mentioned needing to be cleared. Um, yeah, so with you and your husband, you have 10 and he has 3. It's affecting um, the root chakra where um, there's a lot of fury in these past lives, and so that's probably been bleeding into some of this the time together this lifetime. Maybe you've worked some of it out, but there's still some to go. So that would be a good thing to bring to the 12 days and get that cleaned up. Kritananda, 2 questions. What percent am I embodied now? And is an ayahuasca would be good medicine for me to further my awakening? Let's see. What percent are you embodied? You're in your body 100%. So great. Congratulations. Whether or not ayahuasca would be good medicine, I'm getting a no. It only vibrates at 250 for you at the moment. And there's nothing in your field to clear that would make that higher. My guess is that you've let's see, you've already done a lot of work that it's not really necessary. And the thing about ayahuasca, it's a very powerful medicine, but I would say the most important part is who you do it with and how you prepare for it, and then how you integrate it afterwards, because that's usually where people get messed up with plant medicines is they don't have anybody to help them integrate. My first journey took me 3 years to integrate. I was 5 journeys over 2 weeks, and so that's where a lot of people get messed up. And so um, if you're curious about the elixir we'll be using in Sedona for 2 days out of the whole week, email us at support@kimberlysherry.com. We're not going to discuss too much about that online. So yeah. Did you say Nasara Jasara would be rolled out over the next 3 years? Potentially in about 3 years. Yeah, it's they are doing it in stages, and there's a lot of moving parts that have to be put in place. And I think a lot of this disclosure that's happening is preparing people for realizing how much they have been plundered forever. And when this money starts coming back to us, it's really going to change everything. So I'm getting that it is something that is going to happen. It's kind of a moving target, so it's hard to know exactly when it's going to happen. But maybe this thing that's happening in about 3 years that I don't know what it is a contributing factor to that. I'll just share a quick story about listening to these internal messages. I was getting this message or this feeling in my body that it was going to be somehow impacted from the outside, maybe a car accident or something was going to impact my body, and I could just feel this dread about like what could it possibly be, and it was like that kind of went on for maybe a couple years, and I didn't know. I even asked my mentor; nobody really had an answer to it. But this is how it eventually played out. I was told by my guides because I was always checking in. What is this, and when is it going to happen? And it was telling me like around November, December. This was a couple years ago, and so I remember I had was in Southern California, or I had driven down to Southern California, and I was coming back up to Northern California. I decided to check in at a friend's house and was wondering because it was kind of rainy, kind of not, and so I don't like really driving in the rain. So I was thinking, should I stay? Should I go? Finally, around 11 o'clock at night, I decided I think I should go, and maybe I'll dodge most of the rain. So by the time I got to the San Francisco Bay Area, there is this huge intersection on the freeway where you've got San Francisco coming, you've got the Marin people, and the whole east. It's like a three-way. I'll call it a clusterfuck of all these roads that are, it's a lot of energy there generally. So by the time I get to that part, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And a few miles before I get to that, maybe about 5 miles, it starts sprinkling and raining harder and harder. And then by the time I get to that intersection, it's raining so hard, my windshield wipers could not go fast enough. So I go around this big sweeping turn, and coming from the San Francisco area direction, this white car is coming very fast. In fact, it's hydroplaning. It hydroplanes right in front of me across 4 lanes of freeway and T-bones the only other car that happens to be on the freeway at that time, T-bones them. And so this is the impact that I avoided. It happened to be a white car, so it's kind of like, okay, spirit. And it happened right in front of me, like within a car lengths, just like right in front of me. And so the rain and the timing and everything was like just right, listening, so that I just missed it, but spirit made sure that I saw it right in front of me so I could see what it was I avoided. That is something I'll never forget because this feeling in my body was so profound that I just knew something was going to happen, and this is what I avoided. So I kind of have that feeling about this thing that's going to happen in 3 years. Not that it's going to impact my body, but it feels like something big. And so I don't know. I just have to keep checking in to find out what the heck it actually is. And maybe it is this asteroid, and we're going to avert a collision. All right, let's avert the collision. All right. How do I find out what places are good for me to live energetically and to live in the highest expression of myself? Well, there is that astrocartography. I guess that's what it's called. That's one way of finding out energetically. I don't know that part. You can also dowse and muscle test for different places. But I would try astrocartography. I think that would probably be the more specific. Is there anyone courting to me? And if so, how can I get rid of those cords? Well, cords you always just pull out, roots and all, and send it back to the person. But do you have any people cords? I'm getting a yes. In your root chakra, you have 3. It's from a male. So send them back. You don't even have to know who it is to remove cords. Yeah, just send them back. Dana Daki, how many curses do I have and what to do with them? You use your infinite intelligence to just dissolve and transmute them. I don't know, just it seems so simple, the just how the mind can just put your focus there and they disappear. Um, you do have curses at your root chakra. You have about 50. So just go to your root chakra. You can also use your oversoul. First, get grounded. That's always number one. Energy 101. Always get grounded first before you do anything. And that I would say is also probably making it hard for you to get grounded. So you can also use your oversoul energy, which is blocked at the top of your ring. So yeah, you've got some work to do. I would say join us tomorrow and get this stuff cleared out. We're clearing curses. We're clearing all the AI interference. We're getting grounded. We're running our energy. We're opening that heart. We're learning how to love ourselves again. So I would say join us. Lisa, thank you. This is the first time joining. Anything I should be aware of as I head into 2026? Yes, that you're not grounded. So that's number one, as I was just mentioning. Number one, energy 101, get grounded first before you do anything. It's like having a house without plumbing, without a grounding cord. There's nowhere for the energy to go. So that is the first thing you should be aware of. Get grounded. And you could join us tomorrow. We're doing a luminary activation. We do that once a month on the first Thursday of every month. And we run our energy so that we are grounded back in our bodies. High frequency, joy is amplified. Amusement, also a very good tool. So that is that. Nasara Jasara, what is that? Google it. It's I forget what it's actually an acronym, and I don't remember what the acronym stands for, but you can look it up. It's basically where our government is going to reverse all of the financial plundering that has been going on and giving it back to the rightful owners of all of these monies. And just think of how that would be if we all could have a more even playing field, right? Instead of the people who don't care about us wasting all of that money, giving it to countries. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Would that Sedona elixir be better for me, or is there anything external that would be helpful more me, or is this just an internal journey for me at this point? Well, let's see. That's a really broad stroke question. Would the elixir be beneficial for you? It does vibe at infinity for you, so that would be a yes. I've personally experienced it only once, but it was so powerful and so aligned that I'm doing it again next month. And then it's also going to be a part of this retreat because it's powerful, it's gentle, it's yeah. And so we could talk more about it. If you want to talk more about this this retreat, you can always set up there's a breakthrough call. You can always set one of those up on my website, and we could talk about what's best for you. What are you trying to accomplish, and where are you headed? Okay, so this is NASARA, National Global Economic Security and Recovery Act. Yeah, so it's about recovering from all the chaos and the plundering of the monies from all of humanity. So, All right. Well, thank you so much for all of you joining here tonight. Maybe some of you are headed out to go and celebrate this past year and looking forward to something better. And if you want something better for next year, you have to do something different. If you want a different outcome, you have to do something different. And so if you've not tried the luminary activation, I suggest you join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. That'll give you plenty of time to sleep in if you plan on going out to party tonight. And we're going to get back in our hearts, amplify that heart energy, and take care of the number one relationship in our life is with us. So I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow if you're going to be joining us. And otherwise, we'll see you here next week. And we'll answer more of your questions. I'll have a new topic to talk about. And I look forward to answering your questions then. All right. Many blessings. And I don't want to say Happy New Year because I don't know. It's just, it seems like such a rote thing to say, but we definitely are looking forward to better things, aren't we? All right. Many blessings. I hope to see you tomorrow. Namaste.